Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be sharing with you Etsy ads and how I manage my ads, how I recommend that you guys do, how to turn them on, what they're all about and all that kind of stuff. So before we get started, don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel because guess what? I have over 300 videos of really cool, important things to help you make more sales in your Etsy shop. So let's get into it. So here you can see your Etsy ads dashboard. Now, one thing that I will say is that I am running a bunch of tests on Etsy ads right now. As you can see, I'm right in the middle of doing a test where I did like $1 a day and now I've just completely turned them off. So don't look at this and just assume that this is what successful Etsy ads should look like, because they're not. It's a classic thing of do as I say, not as I do, because like I said, I like to test things so I can report back to you guys. So here you will see your Etsy ads dashboard. So you can see your clicks, you can see your revenue, you can see your spend, and you can also do it in terms of a table as well. So if graphs make it really confusing, you can toggle that on and off. You can also do it for different time frames here as well. Now, I'd recommend when you're looking at overall performance to look at the last 30 days, okay? So here you can also compare to previous period. You can toggle that on and off so you can like quite clearly see how Etsy ads are doing compared to this time last year if you've got that data there, okay? So as we scroll down, we can see the manage your budget, okay? Now, if you've got Etsy Plus, you do get $5 of Etsy ads credit. It doesn't go very far, I'm not gonna lie. So it's kind of like giving you £5 towards your year's worth of fuel, right? It's not really gonna make a dent, but it's there, so if you want to have a play, you can absolutely do that. But that is a month as well, right? So one of my biggest things that I get questions about is, Steph, what should my budget be? Like, how much should I be spending on ads? So here's the thing. I would only say to advertise listings that sell well for you, your best selling items, okay? And I would pick maybe 3 to 5 to start off with and put $1 a day behind them. This means that if let's say that you're selling jewelry, right? Like I do. I know that a lot of my terms are quite competitive, and as you only get charged when someone clicks on your ad, you've really got to make sure that you have a decent budget behind it in order for it to be shown and clicked on enough times for you to get orders. Because let's say your conversion rate on a listing is 5%, you need 100 views before you get 5 orders. Or let's say it's 1%, you need 100 views before you can get 1 order. And when you're splitting your Etsy ads budget like by $1 across your whole shop or $10 across your whole shop, that's not going to really work for you. And this is probably one of the main reasons why people say, I've got Etsy ads running, but nothing is working, like I'm not getting orders. It's normally because when I look inside of their shops, they are spreading themselves too thin in terms of budget. So $1 a day per bestseller is my general rule. As you can see here, I would recommend at least once a week, once you've turned them on. And what I would do is I would turn them on, let them run for 2 weeks, and then come back in here. Although if you can't resist having a sneaky look, then that's fine. But what you will see is you will see a table like this. And again, don't forget that you can toggle this for today, yesterday, this month. You can do advertise, not advertise. And this is great if you want to bulk edit, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. And there's also sections here as well, okay? Now also you have a handy little glossary here so you can see exactly what each thing means. So let's say that you have looked at your Etsy ads listings and your info and you're thinking there are definitely some listings that aren't doing so hot and you want to bulk turn them off. You can either go up to active, and obviously you want to go onto here because we want to turn the ones off that aren't doing so hot, right? You can go and you can select them all and then unselect the ones that you want to keep on, and then you can toggle them on or off. So it's just a great way to bulk edit your listings, and it also works the other way around as well. You can also bulk turn a load of stuff on as well if you're wanting to really bump up the volume when it comes to your advertised listings. You can turn those on. Now also, if you want a very quick way to do this, you can just toggle them on and off here as well, but I wouldn't fiddle with this too much. Again, let your Etsy ads cook for at least 2 weeks each time you go in and you start to change things. So let's say, for example, like as you can see here, I've got 15 listings at $1 a day. Like I said, I'm doing a test on this right now. I will be turning Etsy ads off, because I'm actually in the middle, as you can see, of doing a test of, can you turn Etsy ads on and off and still get views? So yeah. So what I would say is the only thing that I would be looking at is return on ad spend. Okay. So what this means is essentially you are looking at listings that are only getting good return on investment. So if you go for the last 30 days here, right, which I would recommend that you do before you make changes, is look for a good kind of month, is I would be looking at, okay, what listings are getting the best return on ad spend? And you've got to be looking at least a 2.5x return on investment. And that means that basically for every dollar or every pound that you spend on ads, you get $2.50 or £2.50 back, if that makes sense. So that's just my general rule of thumb when it comes to return on ad spend. Now, one thing that I would say is, and this is a big plus when it comes to turning ads on, is actually they have a lot of detail in terms of searches that led to this ad. Okay, so you can see here that they are going to highlight for you what's a good keyword for you, what's really working for you, but you might see some terms here that perhaps are a little bit weird and you're like, well, that's got nothing to do with it, so why am I paying to get clicks from a search that's not really my target market, right? But you can totally toggle these on and off so that we can target them a little bit better. But you can see that, and you can also like toggle here, and you can toggle orders, and I'm going to toggle clicks because that's when we get charged, right? So we can see here that rabbit memorial gifts is a great keyword. Now, a little bit of an advanced strat, which I would say to do, is once you have 2 to 3 months of data here, you can then duplicate this particular listing and just put the top performing keywords from this table in that listing and then advertise that and put more of a budget behind it so that you're getting pushed more. And we know that these keywords are working well for people who are seeing ads because we've got it in a table here. We've directly got that information. Okay. So I would recommend for you every week to come in here and make sure that your budget is being spent accordingly. Now, here is some questions which I know that you guys might have, and I'm going to like literally read it direct from Etsy, so you're not getting any wrong information or hearsay, which I know that, you know, happens a lot on YouTube. You get people who are like, oh, I've heard this and I've done this. But when you set a daily budget for Etsy ads, and then again, this is coming directly from Etsy, it's a maximum amount of money that you could spend a day in advertising, but you might not use your full daily budget since you'll charge only when a buyer clicks on your ad. So if you've got your Etsy ads whacked up to $50 a day, but you're only spending $2 a day, it means there's probably something wrong with either the keywords that you're using or the pictures, because people are not enticed enough to click on that ad. Okay, so your budget does not get used if a buyer sees your ad and does not click on it. So that's one thing to really say here, is that it's not by impressions like Facebook ads and Google ads, it's by clicks. Okay, so you'll never go over your daily budget. And this is also why it is important for you to have quite a healthy budget of $1 a day per bestseller, is because normally by like 10 a.m., depending on if you advertise in the, or rather you ship to the States or China or Japan, or like your budget is going to get used up quite early on in the day. So that's another thing if you're spreading yourself very, very thin and your budget is just being used up, right? So where are your advertised listings shown? So your ads can be shown on search and browsing pages across Etsy.com and buy on mobile application. Okay, and your advertised listings look something like this. So if I go onto Etsy and I do a search, you'll see that the ads are literally shown pretty well straight off the bat. Okay, so it's a really good place to be, right? So also, what determines your cost per click? So Etsy sets a bid amount for each listing based on the expected sales from an ad click. So this is why if you are in quite a highly competitive niche, you might use your budget quicker than, let's say, someone who's not. And that's why it's really hard when people say to me, what budget should I set? And what's this? It's quite hard for me to say because it depends on what niche you're in and how much traffic that you get, okay? So for example, if the Etsy ads algorithm determines a buyer is very likely to purchase an expensive listing, the bid will be higher to ensure that your ad shows, okay? So also you might have a question, which is why am I seeing a drop drop in views or sales. And if views have dropped for your advertised listings, it may be because there are fewer buyers searching for your product or more sellers competing for the same buyers. A decrease in views or sales could also be seasonality, since buyer shopping trends will evolve throughout the year. Okay, but if your advertised listing views have stayed the same but your clicks have dropped, there may be room to further optimize your listing. So like I said before, it could be your keywords or your pictures as well that are not resonating for your audience anymore. Okay, so overall, are Etsy ads worth it in 2023, and are Etsy ads worth it in 2024? The short answer is yes, they are, but you've got to have a strategy about it and you've got to be quite intentional. It's not a set it and leave it, and it's not like the money vending machine that I feel like a lot of other coaches on YouTube kind of lead you to believe it is. It does require some work, but once you hit that sweet spot, it's an absolute chef's kiss. So guys, I really hope that you enjoyed that video. Like I said, do not forget to like and subscribe and go and watch my other abundance of videos on this channel for you to get more help and views and sales within your Etsy shop. But for now guys, I will catch you in the next one. Bye everyone.